The Israelites stood ready, facing their ancient enemy, the Philistines. It was a bleak, silent stalemate, a deep valley separating two armies locked in fear. But in that valley, one man daily taunted Israel's resolve: Goliath, the giant. He was a monumental figure, nearly 10 feet tall, clad head to toe in shimmering bronze and steel. No soldier dared to answer his monstrous challenge. For 40 long days, Goliath repeated this ritual, 40 days of paralyzing terror for the Israelites. King Saul, powerless, could only watch the courage drain from his men. Then a boy arrived, a simple shepherd from Bethlehem, sent to bring food to his brothers. His name was David. He carried no weapon, wore no armor, and, crucially, felt no fear. When David heard Goliath's insults, he didn't see a monster. He saw an enemy of God. David's heart was filled with courage, not from the strength of his own arm, but from his unwavering faith. He went before King Saul and declared, "Let no one's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight this Philistine." Saul attempted to fit David with his own heavy bronze armor, but it was useless. It didn't fit. David didn't need it. He put his trust not in steel, but in his shepherd's staff, his pouch, and 5 smooth stones he picked up from the creek bed. And so, as a simple boy against a war machine, David descended into the valley to face the giant. Goliath saw the small figure approaching. He laughed, a booming, dismissive sound that echoed across the hills. "Am I a dog that you come to me with sticks?" he roared, cursing David by his gods. He promised to give David's flesh to the birds and the beasts. David stood firm. His voice, though young, carried an authority no soldier had heard before. "You come to me with a sword, a spear, and a javelin," he countered, "but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts." The entire outcome rested not on weaponry, but on divine power. With these words, David broke into a run, sprinting toward the heavily armored behemoth. The world seemed to hold its breath. Goliath began to move, but his massive size and heavy armor slowed his reaction. He raised his shield, confident of an easy victory. David did not slow down. He reached into his shepherd's bag, felt the smooth surface of one stone, and pulled out his sling. Swinging the pouch above his head, he gained speed, turning the simple tool into a terrifying weapon. In a fraction of a second, he released. The stone flew with devastating speed and accuracy, an invisible missile aimed not at the bronze shield, but at the only exposed part of the giant, his forehead just above the brow. The sound of the impact was sharp and final. Goliath, the mighty terror of the valley, suddenly stumbled. The stone had penetrated deeply, and the giant's massive world turned black. He pitched forward with a colossal, earth-shaking crash. The valley was silent. Then a roar of disbelief rose from the Philistine ranks, matched by a wave of shock and elation from the Israelites. But the battle was not over yet. David ran to the fallen giant. He stood over the immense body. He pulled the giant's own enormous sword, a blade too heavy for any normal man to wield, from its sheath. With one final decisive action, David severed Goliath's head. The champion of the Philistines was defeated. When the Philistines saw their hero, their boastful champion, lying dead by the hand of a shepherd boy, their morale shattered instantly. Panic set in. They abandoned their positions and began to flee for their lives. The shout that arose from the Israelite army was deafening. Inspired and emboldened, King Saul's soldiers finally burst from their positions and charged down the hills, pursuing the panicked, retreating enemy. The rout was complete. David did not join the pursuit. He stood victorious in the valley, holding the giant's massive head and sword. He had proven not only to his own people, but to the entire world that the Lord's power is greater than any earthly might or weapon. The victory secured peace for a time, but its impact lasted generations. The story cemented David as a figure of incredible faith and courage, a testament to God's choice of the weak to confound the strong. David's life was just beginning. This act of faith would set him on a path that would eventually lead him to the throne, where he would become one of the greatest kings Israel had ever known. The tale of David and Goliath is more than a battle story. It is a powerful reminder that the battles we face are often bigger than we are, but so is the power that works through us when we choose faith over fear. From a small, insignificant stone came the mightiest victory. It's a story that reminds us to put down the heavy armor of the world and pick up the simple, yet infinitely more powerful tool of conviction.